What's going on, y'all? I'm Brandon Atlanta Man Bang, coming to you live right here at Coach's Corner, the center of the universe. Another installment of Rubbin' and Grubbin'. Rubbin' is racing, grubbin' is tasting, man. And I want to start tonight's show out, sending out all the thoughts and prayers out to Texas. We just left that AllStar Race, man, but they had tragedy down there. I don't know what the hell's wrong with people in the United States anymore, man. I really don't, but it's really bad when your kids can't even go to elementary school and be safe, man. They shouldn't even have a worry in the world about anything other than growing up and being a kid, man. So all my thoughts and prayers go out there to those families and the loved ones, man, for their loss, and hopefully we can come together and heal it up as a country, because that's what it's all about, man. Let's get it lined out, get some things in place, get it figured out, and help everybody heal, man. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. Glad everybody has tuned in, ready for some NASCAR news. I'm going to get you caught up after everything at that wild AllStar Race, man, so we're going to go ahead and get right into it. If it's the first time you're tuning in, you don't know how we like to start the show, we started off with what we call the word of the day. Basically, the way we play this is every time I say a word during tonight's show, you're going to take a sip of your favorite adult beverage. I always like to say it's age appropriate as well. If you're under the age of 21, get something with a lot of sugar and caffeine in it, man. You can play along as well. Give it hell on a Wednesday night, y'all. So last week's word was million. So going into that All-Star race with everything going on and it being for $1 million, I'm sure if you played along, you probably had a pretty good buzz by the end of the show, man. So there again, today's word is going to be, I have no idea. Lawrence is throwing up there, but every time I say that word, make sure you take a sip of your favorite adult beverage, y'all. But getting into that NASCAR, like I said, if you tuned in, you watched that All-Star race there last Sunday night at Texas, you saw a halfway decent little race there, a little bit of excitement, a little bit of drama, which we're going to talk about a little bit more. But you saw Ryan Blaney in that 12 car come home $1 million richer, man. Like I said, didn't come without its own little hiccups, didn't come without a little bit of drama and controversy. We're going to talk about that in a bit, but at the end of the day, Ryan Blaney just added some zeros into that bank account for sure, man. So, hey, Kyle Busch, we've been talking about this for about a month now. Kind of got the silly season ball rolling. Is Kyle coming back to JGR? Is he not? It's still not a definite answer, but when Gibbs speaks on it, I think it's pretty much locked in. Joe Gibbs came out and said he's very, very, very confident they're going to get the job done, not only for a full-time sponsor for Kyle Busch, but also that contract. So at the end of the day, like we've been talking about for a month, I never thought he was going to go anywhere. I might have gave some options of where he could go, but he's staying on his shell and at Gibbs as the way it looks, man. So what that means for them is there again, you got the best driver you have in your stable locked down for hopefully a couple more years. He came out and said Ty is a 2-year deal in Xfinity. They want him to run 2 full seasons, and I think that's the correct way to do it. You never want to bring a young driver up too fast. Even as talented as he is, he still has a lot of growing pains he needs to go through on and off the track, I think, to be able to showcase that talent. Now, you're going to be stepping into Granddad's real good equipment, but at the end of the day, it's always one step up. Just like college sports, high school to college, college to the pros, it's always one step up, and everybody gets a whole hell of a lot better, y'all. So I'm going to tell you right now, he's got some lessons to still learn, man. Throw $1 in the swear bucket there, y'all. But, hey, getting right into it, man, like I said, I didn't ever think Kyle Busch was ever going to move, man. I think that Gibbs would have to be really, really silly, as young of a guy as Kyle is and as talented as he is and what he's accomplished in the sport. If you let him go right now, you're asking for somebody to pick him up for another 10 years of his career. Now, I don't know if Kyle Busch is going to be one of those guys that races 10 more years. I would like to think that he could be, but we're just going to have to wait and see what he decides to do, if he still has the hunger and passion for it here down the road, man. But like I said, it looks like as of right now, he's staying put at JGR, man. So, hey, another thing I've been reading a lot about through social media, a lot of things that are going on, talks throughout NASCAR, talks throughout former drivers, current drivers, is what we should really do with this All-Star race, right? I mean, I think it's a great event. It was at Charlotte for so many years, forever. We moved it to Bristol during the pandemic. I thought that race was great. It's been at Texas for the last couple years. I think Texas is a really, really cool race track. I think it's a good, definitely a good place to hold the All-Star event, but also at the end of the day, my heart and what I've been saying for a few years is this All-Star event should move around. This thing shouldn't be localized to just one geographic area of the country when we have so many great tracks spread out throughout the United States. So what I think NASCAR should do is, there again, it goes into that whole scheduling thing. It goes into ideas that I've had for the playoff races. I think that there we should have 5 that are consistent every single year that we lock in, 5 of those other playoff races, we do a lottery like NBA does, NHL does. We do lottery, right? So you're going to put certain tracks we can't run that time of the year. I get it. But we're going to put certain tracks into a lottery type thing, and we're going to pull tracks out. The year at the award ceremony to award the champion from 22, we do it then, and we set the schedule for 23. Now, there again, Daytona, the normal regular season, I think, should stay those tracks, maybe move some dates around. But at the end of the day, that All-Star race and I feel like some playoff races should be changed and moved around. Like I said, it just gives fans to drive closer to home, not have to come across the country to see it. And I think every racetrack deserves that. I think that everybody pays their dues. They put on that NASCAR event there at NASCAR. It's sanctioned by NASCAR. They keep that license in. I don't see why we can't have, all-star races at Atlanta, why we can't have all-star races at Bristol, why we can't do it at Martinsville, why we can't, go to Kansas, why we can't go out to California. I don't understand why we can't do that. I think that the logistics of it work out great, especially with cutting costs on what the new car is and the way the schedules conform now through the regular season. It's just ideas, man. And there's a lot of NASCAR fans out there with some really good ideas. A lot of drivers out there that either complained about it or have their views on it as well. So I think NASCAR as a sanctioning body should really open an ear up to the people that are watching, keeping it go around, the owners, the car drivers, and also the fans, and come up with something new for that All-Star race. That's just me, man, but that's the way I look at it. Amp up what you got. Don't add new, man. Just change it around a little bit. So I want to give a big shout out there to everybody and social media. If you hadn't yet, please go out, like, share, follow us. We're on Instagram. You can find us on Twitter. You can find myself on Twitter. Definitely make sure you go out, like, share, and subscribe to that YouTube channel, man. That's the bread and butter for us. Lawrence does an amazing job here putting that on the weekends. Does a little bit of different editing for that show. It's awesome. And basically what I say is the more eyes I can get on that show, hopefully the more donations we get up here at Coaches for our charitable causes, man. It is all nothing but for good things, and I tell you, that's the bread and butter. So if you hadn't yet, go like, share, follow, all that social media out there, y'all. Definitely make sure you check out that YouTube channel, man. So can't let it go without giving a big happy birthday shout out there to Sliced Bread, the Wonder Boy himself, Mr. Joey Logano, man. His birthday, I think, was either yesterday or Monday, so do want to wish him a happy birthday. And to really blow your mind, I think he turned 32 or 33 years old, man. So at the end of the day, you can sit here and go, this guy can be in this sport for another 10 years easy, competitive. So another guy along the lines of Kyle Busch that can stay in the sport a very long time if they want, just from how young they came in. And I don't think Joey's done yet doing what he's doing. I think he's still got a lot of race wins left in him. Maybe another championship. We'll have to see how that plays out. But even though with everything said, and as upset I am at him for the William Byron stuff, happy birthday, Mr. Joey Logano, man. And I do want to know, as a piece of information, if William Byron got invited to the party. Because if William Byron did get invited to the birthday party, I hope Willie B blew out the candles on the cake. I hope he didn't even give a chance. I hope he blew the damn candles out on the cake, man. But at the end of the day, just poking a little fun there. But happy birthday to Logano, man. So, hey, another cool little thing. We know M&M's is leaving the sport after this season completely, not only sponsoring Kyle Busch, but just out of the sport in general. That has been a main staple sponsor in the sport for a very long time. I hate to see him go, but at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do. But before they leave, they are going to sponsor their first ever actual race. So M&M's has never been a full-blown sponsor of a race held. They're going to do it this year at Pocono in July. It's going to be the M&M's Fan Appreciation 400, which I think is awesome. So big kudos out there to the Mars Corporation and M&M's and sponsoring that race, man. I think it's going to be an awesome show. And like I said, I hate to see him go, but at the end of the day, we're opening the door up for somebody new to come in or somebody to get a little bit bigger. So I think it's just a cool thing they're doing, especially at Pocono, that being one of those tracks. And I think M&M's is going to hold it down for sure, man. So definitely big shout out there to Mars and M&M's, man. More big news coming out, and this is pretty interesting to me with everything we have going on. We've got the the garage stuff going on for the Le Mans and all the controversy that's gone on with that. And in the midst of all this, Trackhouse Racing is officially opening up the Project 91. They're opening up a third team. And what they're going to do is bring in international drivers from all kinds of different array of motorsports, whether it be Formula One, whether it be Indy, whether it be Le Mans, whatever it may be. They're going to hold this seat strictly for these guys that want to come in and give their shot at NASCAR. And the bigger news is you will see this car number run once this year. It's going to run in the 2022 time this year at least one time. So My outlook on it is, man, I think the more the merrier. I love it. It's just like the OEMs, manufacturers, we get to come in. The more the merrier to me. If you can pay the cost to be the boss and you want to come put a driver in that seat and pay what it takes to run the schedule and compete, I'm open for it. I have no holdbacks or no bad words, ill words to say on anybody that wants to do that. Now, what I will say is this: I can guarantee you a lot of these races that they're going to enter this third driver is going to be at a road course, and there's a reason for that. And the reason being, these guys that drive Formula One, that drive Le Mans, that drive Indy cars, don't really understand what it is to get into a stock car, right? Our version of racing. We've seen Juan Pablo Montoya do it. Probably one of the best guys in Indy ever to say. I mean, great driver. Didn't do very well in NASCAR, man. Didn't hold it down. Didn't win a lot of races. So that's something to think about. Danica Patrick, again, I'm not going to compare her to some of the guys we have out there, but again, not a very fruitful career in the Cup Series. I mean, I don't think it matters. I think if you take Lewis Hamilton and you put him on a road course in this next-gen car, he's going to have trouble. He's going to have trouble figuring it out. I mean, it doesn't matter who you take. They're going to have trouble figuring it out on a road course, let alone if you ever put one of these guys onto an oval track, man. When you have the best drivers in the world in stock car racing and doing what they do, and this car's on edge, and you see guys like Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch, Ross Chastain, Denny Hamlin, you see these guys go in and out, week in to week out, Chase Elliott, and have trouble controlling this race car. That's just how far on edge this car is set. And once it's gone, there's no getting it back. So I think with those things being said, it's going to be very interesting. I love it. I think it's an awesome opportunity. I think what they're doing at Trackhouse is great for the sport. More international diversity, opening up a door for more guys to come in and give their hand at it. And I think in a way it's going to offer a little bit more sponsorship as well. I don't know contract clauses. I don't understand how that's going to work. I don't know if there's things in certain drivers' contracts where they're not going to be able to come and do that, especially those higher paid Formula One guys. But at the end of the day, I think it's an awesome thing that they're doing, Marks and Pitbull over there at Trackhouse, and big kudos to them, man. It's going to be interesting to watch. We'll see who the driver is. It's supposed to be announced here in the near future, so we'll see who they're going to put back there behind the wheel and let them get their shot here at some good old great American stock car racing, man. So moving right into the next thing, man, my favorite part of the show, the checkered flag for charity. So the way this works, y'all, if you're just tuning in, every single week, whatever car number wins, we donate into our swear bucket, which is for the checkered flag for charity. This is personal to me and my wife. It's a good friend of ours. She passed away earlier in the year, left behind a younger daughter. We're raising money here at Coach's Corner for an educational fund for her. John and Adele have blessed me, and their partners have blessed me being able to come up and do these charity events that we do to raise the money that we can to help this family out. So that's what we chose to do this year. We've still got a lot of big things planned throughout the whole year. Summertime coming up, even into the fall, we've got a couple events that we're doing. The barbecue competition is going to be the first one of being in a different area, but if you've attended before, Parker's done it. I got quite a few guys that get in it every single year that we do it. It's always a great turnout for a great cause and a great time, man. So I'm going to keep you up to date on that. That's going to be later on in the year, a little bit cooler weather, but we got a lot of stuff going on. This weekend, a matter of fact, we've got a Cooler Full of Joy we're doing Saturday night. So if you come up Saturday for the concerts, bring a little bit of extra cash, man. Get in that raffle. Try to bring home a cooler, man. But there again, if you watched the race last week, you know Ryan Blaney won. Anything under Christopher Bell in that 20 car is never good enough for us. It's always going to be the 20, so that's $20 more going in. We're almost at $1,200 on the season, y'all. I'm telling you right now, that's not bad, but we want to make it better. So anytime you guys come up to Coaches, if you're here, stop your waiter, stop your waitress, get a bartender. If you see John and Dale walking, stop them. Say you want to donate into the checkered flag for charity, man. Every little bit helps. Like I tell you guys all the time, none of this is possible, one, without Coach's Corner, and two, without the patrons of Coach's Corner, man. All this money always stays local for local families, local causes, and we all give it our all. So like I said, guys, if you're ever interested, donate some money, 10s, 20s, 100s, 50s, nickels, pennies, dimes. It does not matter. It does not matter. And that was a great catch because I almost knocked it off. Does not matter, man. Whatever you guys got to donate is greatly appreciated, and it all goes into a great place, man. So make sure you guys come up and donate. So want to give a big shout out to one of my main sponsors, my main man, Mr. Parker Eccles out there, man, holding it down over there at Arbor Man, doing tree work all day, every day, man. I absolutely love you, brother, for sponsoring the show. Thank you for everything you do. But for anybody out there watching, if you need any kind of tree service done, make sure you give Parker Eccles a call over there at Arbor Man Tree Service. Locally owned, locally operated, man, insured, awesome dude. Even if you're not sure of what you need, he's going to come out, he's going to give you an estimate and say, man, you can slide on this. Might need to tighten this up a little bit. We're getting into that time of year. Hurricanes, y'all, last thing you want is something dead to fall on your house and lose your house. So make sure you give Parker Eccles a call over there, Arbor Man. Like I say all the time, doesn't matter if it's stump grinding, full tree removal, cutting some limbs back, whatever you need, man, give Parker a call. As I always like to say, no job too big, too small, no tree too tall. Give Parker a call, man. That's what it's all about. Love you, brother. Hey, getting right into my next favorite part of the show, the second. It's actually sponsored there by Arbor Man. We're going to get into that who's hot and who's not, man. So what I like to do is basically kind of name some stuff, some topics or drivers that are trending in the upward direction, and then we talk a lot of smack about the guys that are in the bad direction or things that are going the wrong way for the sport in general, man. So, hey, look, despite him being on his turtle shell up here, y'all, and despite him having the trouble that he had there at Texas, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, Kyle Busch has just got some really fast race cars right now, man. And when you give a guy the talent that he has and the fast race cars, he's going to win races, right? So I think there's something to be said over the last few weeks. Really fast race cars, leading laps, not getting the finishes, whether it be a mechanical failure or just somebody else's mishap, which we've seen quite often. The guy's got to stay number one to me. I mean, it can go back and forth between him and Kyle Larson, if you want my honest opinion. Larson's had some of the same luck. He's wrecked 3 really fast race cars. One mechanically ended up failing and kind of cost him that. But at the end of the day, I think Kyle Busch right now has just got the best equipment right now. They've got it figured out, and we've gone from short tracks to 1.5 miles to AllStar races, and he still competes, man. He's still very fast. So until something changes, I'm going to keep him up there. I think maybe this week might be the week he gets back in victory lane. We're going to have to wait and see where I got him on that top 5 list. But he's going to stay on his turtle shell, like I told y'all, until he does something really good that I see out there off the racetrack, or does a really good interview after he's had a really bad day and doesn't huff and puff and cry like a little, I'm not going to say it, but I'll donate $1 anyways. So at the end of the day, until then, he's going to stay on his turtle shell, man. So that's what it's all about. But number 2 for me on the hot list, man, Ryan Blaney makes the hot list. And we've been waiting to put him on it. He might have been on there a couple times already this season. But I tell you what, this is a guy that has been sneaky good all year, man. Finds himself 3rd or 2nd in the regular season points right now, a little bit further back in those playoffs, and he's a blue oval, which Lawrence absolutely loves. I think he's a great talent. He's a great human. He's an awesome dude. So at the end of the day, I can't help but, have a little props for him, even though I do like my bow ties. But at the end of the day, man, the driver of the 12 car just went out and won $1 million there in that Texas AllStar race. And again, it did not come without some drama and some controversy, which we're going to get into here in just a little bit. But big congrats out there for Ryan Blaney as well. Like I said, sneaky good all season, very consistent. Hasn't necessarily been up front contending for race wins week in and week out. But when he has, he's been up there. He's got his top 5s. He's got his stage points, which we all know pays dividends at the end of the season. Ryan Blaney's doing his thing right now, man. And he's heating up at the right time, I feel like, man. Just put on a hell of a performance there in 1.5 miles at Texas. Yeah, it was different. It was short stages and this and that. But outside of Kyle Busch and maybe Denny Hamlin, if he had 15 more laps, I don't see anybody that was messing with that man all night long, honestly. He had a rocket. So at the end of the day, big shout out to Ryan Blaney, man. Last but not least, I'm going to throw another Gibbs driver on here, y'all, and it's a guy that I don't think gets enough credit for the season he's had so far, and that's Christopher Bell in the 20. I think Christopher Bell is kind of growing into the mold finally. We all knew he was very talented coming out of the Xfinity Series. You hear about the dirt racing background, and he goes and contends with the best dirt racers week in and week out. He's one of the best, to get it right, y'all. So at the end of the day, I think it was only a matter of time before he finally went through his growing pains. And I think he's finally grown up a little bit. You're seeing him come through. In the last 4 races, this guy has 2 top place finishes and 4 top 10s. He hadn't finished outside the top 10 in 4 races. Going right into this past week at Texas, again, man, finished in the top 10. Wasn't a contender up front, contending for that. But, hey, man, good equipment. Wasn't a point paying. All that mattered was to be first. But I'm telling you, as we get into this season and as we get into these races, expect Christopher Bell to get a win. And, again, it might just happen here this weekend on the 600. You never know, man. We've seen it happen before. So moving right into that who's not, Man, you know what number one's got to be on this list, y'all. If y'all watched that race last weekend, NASCAR has got to be number one on the not list right now. And I'm not talking about the racing, I'm talking about the organization as itself. Now look, a lot of folks out there have been talking all week about everything that happened. Denny Hamlin's been going off, man. I mean, he's just been going off hard on NASCAR. He did it on Dale Jr.'s show. Anywhere and everywhere he can get at NASCAR right now, he's getting at him. Now, I don't agree with what he's upset about in some sense. I understand the rules are the rules, right? And we all know that Ryan Blaney dropped his window net coming to what he thought was going to be the checkered flag. Now, this is where I'm mad at NASCAR. NASCAR officially has done something that they've been accused of doing for years. NASCAR tried to manipulate that race, the AllStar race at Texas. Nobody can tell me any different, man. When you go back and you watch camera angle and you see Ricky Stenhouse hit the wall and rode the wall, there's 2 cars behind him. They clear him before this caution even comes out. We're on the last lap of the race, yo. There's nobody even going to come close to Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And we wait all the way until he gets into the tri-oval 100 feet before we cross the start-finish line. You throw a flag? Come on, a caution flag? Come on, man. So I'm not mad at Ryan Blaney for dropping the window net. There again, I think it's a little bit premature, but in his defense, he couldn't see the caution come out. He didn't know. We didn't know for 5 minutes if it was official or not. Now, my difference from Denny Hamlin is I agree, the rules are the rules 100%, and if you're going to change things on the fly for certain people, you're asking for a lawsuit. And I get it. You can. I mean, they manipulated that race in a way, man. Might have cost him the win. Had they followed the NASCAR rule book, which states window net's got to be secure at all times. It can only have a 1-inch diameter around the whole window. It's got to be square. It can only have one small piece of tape. Can't be held on by Velcro, etc., etc. Every rule was broken. Every one was broken when he dropped that window net. A lot of folks don't know that window net, you can't just put it back up. It usually takes the biggest guy they talked about in the race. It usually takes Jackman to put that window in and lock it in because of how much tension it holds and how tight that window net is. So anyways, what I'm upset about is the manipulation. I think that NASCAR doing what they did and manipulating that race should have gave Ryan Blaney the opportunity to come down and put that window net back up with no penalty, restart first again. Would the outcome be different? Probably not. Probably would have been the same. Like I said, nobody had anything for Ryan Blaney at all night. If I was Denny Hamlin, I'd be a little more upset that I didn't get the push that I needed to at least be door to door and give it a whirl, right? I mean, he was running them back down there a little bit, but at the end of the day, that's what I'd be upset about. Now, I agree with Denny in the fact the rules are the rules. We shouldn't be able to manipulate and change rules through the middle of a live event. That just can't happen. So now that this has come forward and this is going to be an amendment in that rule book somewhere, whether NASCAR says that this happens, something similar, they have the opportunity to put it up, no penalty, or from here on out if it's going to be a black flag, which is what the rule book calls for now. So I see Denny's side. I see NASCAR's side in a way, not really. So I'm not really upset with what Denny has to say. I'm more upset with NASCAR in general, man. Y'all got to get it together, man. You got to get that together. Don't ever do that again. That was the worst form of manipulation, I think, in any kind of sporting event I've seen in a very long time, man. Don't ever do it again. So, I said I'm not upset with him, but he is on the not list, man. So I am going to say this about Denny Hamlin. And I'm going to say this about Denny Hamlin in general. I think Denny Hamlin is a very talented race car driver. I think when he came into the sport, he was a very bright light, a young youth that had a lot of talent. He's devoted his career over there to Joe Gibbs. He's done a lot of things, but we all know Denny Hamlin is very vocal on social media. He's already in trouble for, what he did there with Kyle Larson, the Asian joke, all right? So he's already in trouble there, but he has no problem voicing his opinion. And I love it. I think it's glad that the sport has a guy that voices things that maybe other drivers won't go out and say. Denny Hamlin's got a big enough fan base and a good enough ride. He can go out and say what he wants. He's had sit-down talks with NASCAR in the recent. I think that the driver committee that they opened this year with Jeff Burton and him and other drivers being on it, I think this is going to help steer the sport in a great direction, in a better direction overall. But at the end of the day, he's got to learn when to just be quiet, man. Talking about suing NASCAR and a lawsuit and, this and that. And now 2311 isn't building the headquarters until NASCAR gets some things figured out on what direction they're headed. I mean, look, man, I get it. It's his money, especially at 2311. It's his money. But you get paid millions of dollars to go drive a race car, man. How about just shut the hell up and just go drive the damn race car, man? That's all I'm saying. Like, if you did half of the talking and more of this, you might have some more wins and you might actually have a championship under your belt, man. But instead, you do this instead of this. So do a little bit more of this, a little bit less of this. Probably going to work out all right for you, man. Last but not least, and this is something I felt bad to doing, but I got to do it. It's been a while since he's been on here. But Mr. Kevin Happy Harvick has officially made the coldest part of the cold list. I don't even think you can possibly get any colder than what a guy like Kevin Harvick is right now, man. We're talking about a former Cup Series champion. We're talking about a guy, 9+ wins in a season. We're talking all kinds of craziness. But since that 2019, when he missed those playoffs, man, or maybe it was 20, whatever year it was, 19 or 20, whatever year it was when he missed those playoffs, he ain't been the same since, man. After he missed that Final Four cut, he ain't been the same since, man. And to be honest, I'll say it right here. I don't think Kevin Harvick makes the playoffs, period, this year if without a win. He's going to have a win. He's going to have to figure out to get a win. We're already at, 11 or 12 different winners on the season, something like that. And we still got 10 more to go, 13 more, 12 more to go before we even get to the break for the playoffs, man. We got big name guys out there that haven't got a win yet. Still. So what I'm saying is at the end of the day, if he finds himself in a position with the way he's running and not being consistent week in and week out, you get down to where 14 guys have a win and there's 2 spots, Kevin Harvick might not make it, man. I'm just letting y'all know right there. You heard it here first. But look, I don't know if the relationship's grown cold. I don't know if Tony's putting a little bit more of that money into his now wife's drag racing and the teams he has over there and the other stuff, the SRX stuff and the drag racing. I don't know what's going on. But what I do know is you went from winning multiple races a year to big zeros, man. You ain't got nothing going on right now for you and not running consistent. I mean, Chase Briscoe got that win. I get that. But where's he been the last few weeks, man? Where's he been the last month and a half? Where's Harvick been? Top 8, 32nd. Top 5, 6, 29th. Run good, run horrible. It's this. He's got to get rid of the fluctuation. They got to get consistent. I've been saying it for a couple of years. I don't know if him and Childers, the communication there is growing stale. We saw it with Jimmy. We saw it with Chad Canals, probably the best duo ever to do it outside of Petty and his. I'm just saying, man, something's got to give. You got to get it together, brother. I hope you get off of this cold list, but for every week until you probably get a win, you're going to be last on the cold list. I'm going to find something to talk about. All right, y'all. We're going to pause for station identification right here on Coach's Corner Sports Network. Nice cold water, man. It was pretty damn humid. We do got a nice breeze blowing back here tonight, so it's not too bad. But it was hot as hell out here today, y'all. All right. Moving right into that All-Star recap. I'm not going to go too much more in depth with it, man, but Ryan Blaney does bring home that nice, cool, calm, collected check for $1 million. And what's even cooler is his best friend Chase Elliott won an All-Star million too, man. And I'm going to give my man big props, mad props out there. While everybody's hating on Ryan Blaney for what he's doing in NASCAR, Chase Elliott and Bubba Wallace were 2 of the first ones that congratulate him. And Elliott wrote it on his Twitter, man. He said, hey, if you can't pull for the 9 to get the W, you better pull for the 12 to get the W, man. And I think that's great, awesome sportsmanship, and they're best friends, and I think that's awesome, man. So big shout out to my guy and Ryan Blaney on winning that million, man. Kyle Larson, y'all. Kyle Larson has trouble again. Up front, out there, running good. All of a sudden, boom, into the wall he goes, man. Tire issues, whatever it may be, I don't really know. But again, another really fast race car, torn up and wrecked, man. I'm glad these cars are cheaper. I'm glad they're cheaper because I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of teams out there that dug themselves a really deep hole already this not even this far into the season. There's a lot of tore up race cars out there, man. I think, like I said, DNS caution's on the rise, y'all. Kyle Larson's one of them. Had been 3 weeks or 4 weeks in a row he's had trouble. He's got to get it figured out, man. Quit driving it so hard early, brother. Lay back. Be easy, man, and just wait. Wait for the end, man. They got to get it together, man. I don't know if they're not all firing on 8 cylinders, him and Cliff Daniels, him himself. I don't know what's going on, but they got to get that bow tie in shape, man. I got him picked to be in that Final Four. He's got to maintain that Final Four, man. Got to get it in shape, brother. Another Kyle Busch, man. Again, like I told y'all, looked damn fast. Looked really damn fast, man. Had another really good race car. Something kind of not of his doing. I mean, he got a flat. He did what he could do. He tried to pull down to the inside of the racetrack. After leading the race, he pulls down. And I'm talking about Ross Chastain hit that man like a shit ton of bricks, y'all. I mean, that was one of the craziest ones I've seen in a while. Hit him almost full speed. I thought he was getting ready to flip. Chastain, man, he airborne a little bit. Car came back down. Lo and behold, who else got caught up in the BS? nobody other than my main man, Mr. Chase Elliott. Hurt my damn feelings too, man, because I thought he had a shot there. It was early on. He was up front. He was bringing it on after starting, I think, in the back. He started pretty far back, brought it all the way up there into the front. Hurt my feelings, man. Almost brought a tear to my eye watching that. But I'm glad everybody's okay. That's the big thing. Glad everybody was okay, because that was a really, really crazy hit, man. Really crazy. Ricky Stenhouse, Chris Buescher, and Daniel Suarez, all three raced their way into that damn, All-Star Open. Ricky went out and did it first. Chris Buescher and then Suarez actually ended up winning it right there in the final. And Mr. Eric Jones got that fan vote and voted in, man. I thought that was awesome. I love seeing that iconic 43 in every single race. And I like Eric Jones. I think he's a good race car driver. So at the end of the day, that was pretty cool. Glad to see them get their shot, but none of them were even close to getting that million, man. Well, Daniel Suarez, I'll take that back. Suarez had a pretty good little race car there for a little bit, but not at the end. Not when it came. He wasn't up front. He wasn't in first, man. And unfortunately, in this race, if you ain't first, you might as well be last, brother. Moving right into the longest race of the year, y'all, the Coca-Cola 600. Now, I want to give a big shout out to NASCAR in general. I bash them a little bit here and there, but I am going to say this. NASCAR is the most patriotic sport that we have, period. NASCAR holds it down, puts on a show on Memorial Day weekend like no other in Charlotte at that Coca-Cola 600, man. So everybody watching today, make sure y'all remember Memorial Day. Tell all your loved ones, friends, loved ones, whoever you got out there that's either current military, former military, or especially the lost loved ones, the ones we've lost out here in battle, doing everything they can do to protect our rights and freedoms, to be able to do the things that we do day in and day out. That's what it's all about, remembrance, man. So make sure you remember those folks, and like I said, man, keep them close in your heart. NASCAR does a great job of it. They put on one of the best shows. There's so many patriotic paint schemes honoring fallen soldiers, honoring people we've lost, honoring people still alive. NASCAR does it. So every other sport out here can take a little note out of NASCAR's book on how you honor your military and what you do for your military. They do it right, man. One of the crown jewels, man. This is one that you want on the resume when you talk about race wins. This is one that you want. This is one you want for sure. Longest race of the year. Not only does your team have to be on point, like I said, dude, best show going from day to night. Team's got to be on it. The drivers got to be tightened up, belts tightened on that wheel, man. They got to go after it and go get it. The longest race, we got 4 stages, man. So at the end of the day, you got to make sure that you're there at the end. A mistake early, you can rebound from. A mistake in that 3rd stage, that's going to be a tough one to come back from on a 1.5 mile like Charlotte, man. So we'll just have to see. Pit crew's got to be on point. Cars got to be set up. Changes got to be made. You got to keep up with that track. Drivers got to be hydrated and ready to roll, because it's going to be a hot one down there, man. Top 5 moving right in, man. I'm telling you right here, I'm going to start it out with who I think is going to win. And that's Turtle Shell, man. I got him another number 1. I've been taking him number 1 on this list, man. He's come out. He's been on fire. He's had fast race cars, just hadn't got the checkered yet. So I think this might be the week he gets it done. I'll take Kyle Busch number 1, man. Number 2 for me, another Kyle. Like I said, Kyle and Kyle show this week probably. Kyle Larson, I'll take him second again. Another guy's been bringing very fast race cars, just hadn't got it all put together yet on the past few weeks. Could be a week where they change it around right here. This is one I'm sure he wants, man. We'll see if he can go out and go get it. 3 for me, my main man. Y'all see my new Hooters hat, man. I just got this one in on Fanatics. I'm waiting on 2 shirts. You're going to see some new apparel up here this year, man. 9 car, baby. Chase Elliott. Could go out and get this 600 victory, man. I'd love to see it happen. Join his dad on there with somebody that's done it, man. I'd love to see it happen, man. So, brother, if anybody needs to go get it done, you go get it done, man. That's what I'm talking about. 4 for me, I think this is the guy that the Vegas odds are slipping on a little bit, and that's William Byron, man. That 24 car there has been hot. He's been good. He's got good equipment. He's got a crew chief that he communicates very well with, gets along with well. I'm telling you right now, you better watch out for him. Could be, man. Could be the 24 again in Victory Lane at that 600. 5 for me, got to be Ryan Blaney in that 12 car. After the performance we just saw him put on at Texas, and Texas and Charlotte are very relatable in a lot of ways. You don't think this guy's going to go and figure out what's going on, man? You don't think they're bringing a piece of heat for him to drive? He just won $1 million, man. Doesn't have a point-paying win yet. Not this season. I think this might be the one where it comes home, and he could bring home the checkered flag at Texas and again at Charlotte, man. Special treat for y'all, just because it's called the 600. I'm taking 6 drivers this week, man. I picked 6 out. Can't leave out Denny Hamlin, man. I can't. Like I said, I think he's He's kind of rebounding a little bit. Had a good car there at Texas. Took him a while to get up there. He's gonna have to have a fast start, and if he does have mistakes like he has throughout the year, they got to be in the first 150, 200, 300 laps. Can't be in that last 100, man. If it happens in the last 100, you've seen what happens to him. There's no coming back. So I will take Hamlin 6 there. 2 dark horse picks. One I talked about already. Christopher Bell, I think he's due. I think he's got good equipment coming out of JGR. I think he's finally hitting his stride and figuring out how to run these cup races. And I think he can be a guy that you got to watch out for this weekend. So I'll take Christopher Bell. Another guy, 1.5 mile program, looks really good. Team's got to win at Kansas, but that's Bubba Wallace, man. I think you got to watch out for that 23 car. I think that if he puts himself in good position, races himself inside that top 7 towards the end, very easily can come away with this win, man, if it gets chaotic, or maybe they just bring that good of a piece of equipment. We're just going to have to see over there, man. But 23-11, watch out for that 23 car, Bubba Wallace, man. All right, y'all. So here we go. We got that money bet lined up. Man, this is a tough week. And they got some odds out there that are really good to look at. So this week, and I think what I'm going to start doing is kind of breaking it down into 3 tiers. And you guys pick who you think, man, who you guys think is going to go out and win this one. But if you're looking for betting advice, like I said, maybe for an automatic win or somebody more secure, I'll take one of the favorites, Kyle and Kyle show, man. It's 5-1. I mean, it's not a huge payout. It's not a great payout. But at the end of the day, y'all, you can walk away with something bigger than what you brought if you take one of them. So I'll take those 2 up front. So that'd be my top tier. Middle tier, got really good odds on some guys that already have multiple wins. 2 multiple time winners are at 12-1 or 12 plus 1,200, whatever you want to look at it, however you want to look at it. Ross Chastain, William Byron, and All-Star winner at Ryan Blaney are all right around 12-1 odds, man. So there again, Chastain's got 2-point paying wins. William Byron's already won twice this year. And then you turn right around and Ryan Blaney just won at Texas, man. And there's a little bit more money to be made. You figure out which one of those 3 you'd like to take one of them. Now, this is where some money can be made right here if one of these guys come into it. Kansas winner Kurt Busch, Joey Logano, and you got Christopher Bell, all at pretty deep odds. I think Kurt Busch has the best out of those at 16-1 after a couple weeks ago winning at 1.5 miles. Different than Charlotte, but won at a 1.5 mile racetrack, proving he can go out and do it with a dominating race car. So be on the lookout for that. That's a good little money bet if you're just looking for one guy to take for a big hit. Logano, I mean, you always got to take him. 18-1 odds they got Joey at, man. And how, I don't understand. Yeah, he hadn't showed up at 1.5 miles outside of Darlington, I think, but that's a little bit of its own beast. But at the end of the day, man, 18-1, not bad for a guy with a resume like Joey Logano. And like I said, Christopher Bell heating up in the right way, hot in a certain direction, 25-1, man. That's a pretty good payout right there for a guy that's got 4 top 10 finishes in the last 4 races, man. That tells me he's hot. He's due. It's time, man. So, like I said, y'all pick him, but that's my advice right there. Doing pretty good. We lost a little bit. We took Kyle Busch at +4 last week, so not a big bet. We lost. We're still plus 300 units on the year, man. So I'd like to be a lot higher than that, but right now we're doing pretty good. I'll take it. It's better than a complete loss, man. So there again, hey, man, just want to tell you guys we moving right on in to a good, hard right turn, man. And this is sponsored by Lamar's Body Shop right up here off Skidaway Road, very close to Coach's Corner, y'all. Lamar's been in service for over 35 years running that body shop. I've had personal stuff done by him. It comes out looking brand new and amazing every single time, man. Him and his crew up there do an amazing job doing repairs, painting body, whatever it may be that you need, man. Go holler at Lamar up here off Skidaway Road, man. The man is a wonder. He's a staple of the game here in Savannah, man. I love him. He's a huge supporter not only of Rubbin' and Grubbin', but every charity event we do here at Coach's and Coach's Corner itself. So like I said, y'all, you're looking for a little body work, need that insurance quote, go hit Lamar up on Skidaway, man. That's what I'm talking about. Keep it all local, baby. Love you, Lamar. So moving right into that hard right turn, fair or foul, man. Fair or foul. And we talked a little bit about this on the rule book earlier and what NASCAR did. Was it fair or was it foul what they did for Ryan Blaney, man? You've heard my input on it for the most part. Like I said, I think it was more foul throwing the caution to begin with because it should have never been thrown and you manipulated a race. So that alone already puts you behind the shotgun or behind the 8-ball as NASCAR. Now you got to make a call. You got a guy that didn't even see the caution lights, was already so far past, couldn't even see the damn caution lights on the damn post, man. He thought he took the checkered. Checkered was waving. until it wasn't, and then the caution was, man. So I think that's the bigger thing than them bending the rules a little bit for them. Now, I think there again, if you're going to bend the rules for one person in one event, somebody else is going to ask for that. So after this race, before Sunday, I would expect NASCAR to come out with an amendment to that rule book, clarification, justification on what they did and how they're going to change it. Hey, if you drop that window net before you take the checkered flag, before it's official, that's a black flag penalty. If you do it, we're going to do this. Whatever it may be, let's just get the rules clear so every driver can play by the same rule book. So to me, I'm going to say it's more foul than fair. But at the end of the day, I love to see Ryan Blaney come home with that $1 million check. I think he deserved it. I think there wasn't another driver in that field that could have went out and dominated and won the way he did. There wasn't a car that showed up all night and led the laps he did, that pulled away the way he did. So at the end of the day, that's me, man. That's where I'm at with it. But I'd love to hear your guys' opinion on it. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. We know what Denny's had to say. Dale Jr. wasn't very happy about it either, which I agree with him 100%, just like I kind of agree with Denny 100%, man. You can't have the rules, man, in place just to be broken. So there again, I think NASCAR's got to come out. They've got to clarify. They've got to go ahead and make changes to that rule book for this instance on things that do happen. And I think once we get that out of the way, we move on from it, man. But at the end of the day, it's official. Ryan Blaney's a winner. But I'd love to hear you guys' comments on it, man. If you see this on YouTube, see it tonight, make sure you drop a little comment on there. Let me think, you know, on our Twitter thing especially. Fair or foul, man? Was it fair or foul what NASCAR did? Every stipulation, every part of it, you let me know how y'all feel about it, man. So that's going to do it right here for the rubbing. We're moving right into the grubbing, man, and we got a little staple right here at Coach's Corner. This is one of my favorite things that they do here. I'm definitely going to be getting one of these because I'm pretty hungry today. Man, we got those chicken sliders, y'all. Man, let me tell you about the sliders. We got tenders. I got American cheese. They'll do any kind of cheese you want. You can get them buffaloed. Man, I run mine lettuce and onion. I'll spice these bad boys up with a little ketchup. I'll spice them up with honey mustard. So many different options you got, man. A little side of fries. I'm going to get one of these right now. Here's where it's at. If you hadn't had this from Coach's yet, make sure you do, man. Like I said, everything that comes out of the kitchen here is awesome. Me and the wife were here yesterday. I had the Tuesday special country fried steak, mashed potatoes, and green beans. Let me tell you, it was good. It ain't my mama's, but boy, it was good, man. It was damn good. So make sure y'all come check out Coach's. Not only their lunch specials they do weekly, but everything, man. Like I tell you all the time, great food, great friends, great drinks, great times held right here at Coach's Corner, man. So moving right into those Coach's Sport Network shows, man. We got Coach Karl DeMasi with that Sports Report live every Saturday at 9 a.m. He's breaking everything down, local, national sports, man. He does an amazing job of that. He's back with the midweek show. I think the newest episode drops on Tuesday, so it dropped last night. Who's on first base? He runs that out there with Kyle Lawson. I'm pretty sure still pops in there with him too. So make sure, like I said, Coach DeMasi keeping you up to date on everything local, national, and especially on that baseball, man. You need some hints for a fantasy team you got going on. You need stuff, who's trending in the right direction, what's going on with the sport. Coach Karl's the man to keep up with, man. So make sure you, if you hadn't yet, like, share, follow all his social media as well, man. Every sports network show you need to like, share, and follow, man. We got it going on up here. Hot Grits with Travis and Spencer. You can catch and stream that podcast anywhere you stream your podcast. It drops every Tuesday for that new episode of it as well. Those guys are crazy funny, crazy good, man. They talk a lot of stuff all the time. We still got to get together for this team sport event we do between our show this year. We got to get together for that. But anywhere you guys stream your podcast, make sure you stream that Hot Grits, man. They break it down. They talk about sports, what they got going on. It's an awesome show, man. Love you guys, man. Hopefully I see y'all soon, man. Hey, 19th hole. Last weekend was the weekend, man. I told them all they had to do was pop up here and give a little bit of feedback on Saturdays round in their picks for Sundays. I couldn't get either one of them up here, man. I don't know what's going on with them. I know one of them's Kyle Busch fan, so he halfway ain't right already. I know he's halfway already gone. And I know the other one got obligations with baseball. But at some point in time, y'all got to come up here and do at least a little weekend segment for that 19th hole, man, on these majors, man. I'm going to keep pushing them till they do it, y'all. Big shout out there to ESPN 104.3, ESPN Coastal, PJ Zuko, and myself doing green, white, checkered. PJ was under the weather last weekend, had a little bug going around, man. He finally got it. He wasn't feeling good, so he didn't make his way to the studio. He tried, just was up all night, man, wasn't feeling it. Hey, I get it, brother. I love you, man. Either way, any day, I got you, man. So didn't hear it last week, but you can tune in to 104.3 ESPN Coastal every Sunday morning, 9 to 9:30. You'll hear PJ Zuko and myself breaking down everything up to date on NASCAR news. We're talking things that are happening. We're definitely going to have a lot to talk about this week, and we're giving our picks for that race on Sunday, which mine might vary from this just a little bit, man. I kind of get some sense knocked into me halfway through the week sometimes, and like, why'd I even take that guy, man? I probably should have taken somebody else. So either way, be on the lookout for that every Sunday, ESPN 104.3, and you can also stream it live on ESPN Coastal's Facebook page as well, y'all. Want to give a big shout out again to John and Dale Henderson and everybody here at Coaches. I can't preach enough about what they do for me and my show and a lot of other folks and what they have going on up here, man. This is it is a family. This isn't like a friendship. This is a Coaches family, man. Everybody here will give you the shirt off their back if you need something, and that is why I absolutely love them. So I do want to give another big thanks out there to John and Dale Henderson and everybody here at Coaches for what you do, not only for rubbing and grubbing, but what you do for everybody in the community, man. Big shout out on that. Definitely, man, like I say all the time, I'm getting out of here. Make sure you hug your loved ones. Make sure you give them a big kiss, man. It's Memorial Day weekend. Y'all be safe out there. I hope y'all bought the hell out some fireworks, because let me tell you, my wife, I got to put her on restriction. Next time we go to the fireworks store, I'm going to put handcuffs on her, man, because we go to Illinois. I got a big show we do up there every year. I'm going to video it, and I'm going to post it on our Twitter or our Facebook, man. You're going to be like, okay, I get what he's saying now. Anyways, but hope you guys enjoy that, the Memorial Day weekend coming up. You get that Monday off, hopefully. And like I said, Memorial Day is all about remembering those fallen people who gave their lives up here. So I'm able to do this, so you're able to do what you want to do and say what you want to say and have the freedoms you are, man. So make sure you stop by, throw some flowers out on somebody's gravesite, somebody that's fallen. Even if you don't know one, man, find one. That's what it's all about. Make sure you send a prayer out there for all those families in Texas, y'all. Got to get it together. We got to come together as human beings and get this figured out, man. But until next time on NASCAR, Brandon Bain right here, rubbing and grubbing. I'm checking out, y'all. Love y'all. Have a great night. And as always, bam, stay safe. Wash your hands, y'all. Oh, yeah.